Welcome, dear listener, to JadeFox Tales, where ancient myths become the dreams into which you softly descend. I'm most grateful for your company this evening and for the quiet moment you have chosen to spend here. Tonight, we journey to the ancient forests of India, where the trees grow tall and silent, and where a stag of rare and gentle beauty is said to wander beneath the shaded canopy. It is a tale of wonder, of illusion, and of the quiet lessons that reveal themselves when one follows a path that is not as it first appears. For in these old stories, not all that is seen may be trusted, and yet even the most elusive of visions may guide those who walk with patience and care. You need not follow each word too closely. Should your thoughts begin to wander, you may let them do so, and if sleep should find you before the tale has reached its end, you may welcome it without concern. The story will continue, whether heard or not, as the forest remains still and watchful through the passing of time. Before we begin, let us allow the day to fall gently away. Take a slow breath in and let it go again unhurried. There is no need to guide the breath, only to notice its quiet rhythm. The world beyond this moment may wait. For now, there is nowhere you must be, and nothing that requires your attention. And so, in this quiet interval, we turn gently towards tonight's tale, a story of a wandering stag and of the path that unfolds in its quiet wake. And now, dear listener, let the body rest, let the mind grow still, and allow yourself to drift as the story begins. Welcome, dear listener, to the verdant heart of India, where sunlight drifts softly through dense canopies, and the murmuring of streams carries secrets older than memory. It is here, amidst the quiet hush of the forests, that our story begins. In a secluded glade, where ferns spread like emerald carpets and flowers nodded gently in the morning breeze, there appeared a creature unlike any other. Its coat shimmered as if brushed with liquid gold, and its antlers glimmered faintly, reflecting the pale light of dawn. This was the Enchanted Stag, a being of forest magic and silent wisdom. No hunter or traveler had seen it before, and yet it moved with calm authority, each step measured, each glance tender. The animals of the forest, deer, monkeys, and birds alike, observed quietly from the shadows, sensing that this visitor was not ordinary. There was an aura around it, subtle yet powerful, that spoke of a harmony between the earth, the trees, and the unseen spirits that dwell in nature. The stag wandered slowly towards a gentle stream, its reflection rippling across the water like a dream. It drank deeply, then raised its head, nostrils flaring as it caught the scent of humans, not the fearsome scent of hunters, nor the hurried traces of traders, but a tentative, cautious fragrance of one who sought wisdom rather than conquest. Soon a young villager emerged at the edge of the glade, carrying a small basket of fruits intended for the temple. The boy had wandered farther than he should have, chasing the call of the forest, when he stumbled upon the stag. Frozen, he gazed upon the glowing creature, whose eyes, gentle, knowing, and uncommonly intelligent, met his. Though the boy's heart raced, he felt no threat, only a calm warmth, as if the forest itself had sent his guardian to watch over him. The stag lowered its head, as if acknowledging the child's presence. Then, with a graceful leap, it moved through the glade, pausing atop a small rise where sunlight caught its antlers, casting a fleeting halo upon the earth. The boy followed slowly, understanding instinctively that he was witnessing something rare and sacred. For hours, the stag led him deeper into the forest, past moss-covered rocks and ancient banyan trees, until they arrived at a tranquil clearing, encircled by silver-leaved trees and sparkling pools. Here, the air seemed lighter, the world quieter, as though the forest had drawn a deep breath. The enchanted stag paused, lowering its head once more. Then, with the faintest tilt, it gestured toward the boy, inviting him to sit upon the soft grass. The young villager obeyed, feeling a sense of wonder it could scarcely name. "You have been chosen, child," seemed to whisper the rustling of leaves, the shifting of light, and the gentle flowing of water. "Not for glory, nor for conquest, but for understanding. The understanding that all life is intertwined, and that the smallest kindness can ripple like water through the forests of the world." Though no voice had spoken aloud, the boy comprehended the message fully, and in that moment, dear listener, the first thread of a legend was woven, one of courage, compassion, and the quiet magic that flows unseen beneath the canopy of earth and sky. Thus began the tale of the Enchanted Stag, a tale that would carry our young hero through trials, lessons, and discoveries, and remind us all of the profound harmony between mortal hearts and the mystery of nature. The morning that followed the boy's first encounter with the enchanted stag dawned gentle and serene, as if the world itself had exhaled a long, peaceful breath. Birds trilled in delicate harmonies, and the soft rustling of leaves carried faint echoes of the night before, though none could discern their meaning but the forest itself. The young villager awoke with a sense of purpose he had never known before. The image of the golden stag lingered in his mind, antlers catching the sunlight and eyes imbued with quiet intelligence. He felt compelled, as though drawn by unseen currents, to return to the glade, to learn, to observe, to understand. With careful steps, he treaded through the winding forest paths, guided by intuition rather than sight. Along the way, he noticed details previously overlooked, the subtle patterns of moss upon stone, the way the streams curved and met in gentle confluences, and the faint fragrance of flowers that opened only at dawn. Each element with intention, as though the forest itself were speaking in the softest of voices. By midday, he arrived once more at the clearing. There, the enchanted stag awaited him, standing poised beside a pool of crystalline water. Its coat gleamed as if woven from sunlight, and the air about it shimmered faintly with a warmth that was both physical and spiritual. The boy approached slowly, bowing his head in respect, though he sensed no demand for formalities. The stag simply regarded him, serene and patient, as if measuring the depth of his intent. Days passed in a quiet rhythm. Each morning the boy would journey to the clearing, and each day the stag would guide him, not with words, but with actions, with subtle gestures that taught lessons of observation, patience, and empathy. One day, as the sun dipped towards the horizon, the stag led him to a cluster of trees where the bark was unusually smooth and silvered. Beneath these trees, small creatures carried about their tasks, and the boy observed without interference. The stag's antlers glowed faintly, and in their light he understood a simple truth. All life is interconnected, and the well-being of one depends upon the care of all. As twilight settled upon the forest, the boy felt the stirring of a question he had long held in his heart. He knelt by the pool and traced the reflection of the stag in the water. "Why do you show me these things?" he asked softly, his voice barely above the whisper of the wind. The stag lowered its head to the pool, eyes meeting his own. Though no voice spoke aloud, the boy felt the answer, clear and gentle. To guide, to protect, to teach that courage is not only in action but in thought, that strength is not merely in muscle but in understanding, and that wisdom flows from attention, care, and compassion. A soft breeze swept through the glade, and the boy felt the forest sigh in agreement. He understood, too, that this was but the beginning, that trials would come, and temptations, and moments that would test his resolve. Yet he also felt, deep in his chest that he was not alone. The enchanted stag had chosen him not for glory or reward, but for his heart, and in this choice lay the foundation of a bond that would endure all challenges. As night fell, the boy returned to his village, his thoughts alight with wonder, reverence, and purpose. The forest whispered around him, leaves brushing against one another as if celebrating the first steps of a journey destined to become legend. And in the distance, beneath the canopy of stars, the enchanted stag lingered, watching with quiet patience, knowing that the lessons of the forest had only just begun. Weeks turned into months, and the young villager's visit to the glade became a steadfast part of his life. Each journey deepened his understanding of the forest and of himself, guided always by the quiet presence of the enchanted stag. Yet, dear listener, it is often in times of stillness that true challenges appear. For the forest, though serene, is not without trials, and destiny seldom tarries when the heart is chosen. One morning, as mist curled along the forest floor, the boy found the clearing altered. The pool had swollen from recent rains, reflecting not only the sky, but the twisted shadows of unseen branches. The air felt heavier, as though carrying a message both urgent and grave. The enchanted stag emerged from the trees, its gaze steady, antlers catching the first rays of dawn like burnished gold. There was an unusual tension in its posture, a hint that the boy's lessons would no longer be of gentle observation alone. From the shadow came a figure, a hunter of considerable skill, armed with bow and arrow, who had heard tales of a golden stag roaming the forest. Greed and ambition burned in his eyes, though his movements were calculated, for he practiced in patience and stealth. The boy's heart raced, yet he remembered the lessons learned and the stag's silent guidance. Strength alone would avail him little. Courage tempered by wisdom must prevail. He stepped forward, placing himself between the hunter and creature. "This forest," he called softly, is home to more than what your eyes may see. It holds balance and it holds life. Harm it not, or it find a way to harm itself in return. The hunter laughed, a harsh cracking sound. It is but a deer, and yet it glows as if touched by heaven. I will have it, and its surprise shall bring me renown. The stag lowered its head, and in that simple gesture, the boy felt a surge of understanding. Its presence was not merely to protect, it was to teach. The forest itself seemed to pulse, branches moving subtle, streams shifting, light bending as though drawn towards a single point. And in that moment, the boy realized the truth of his role. He was both guardian and mediator. He called upon the patience and perception nurtured through countless mornings by the pool, guiding the hunter's attention to the delicate balance of life around him, the flutter of birds' wings, the tremor of insect upon leaves, the silent gaze of creatures watching from the shadows. You see only what you desire, the boy said gently, but all life is bound together. To strike without care is to strike yourself as well. For a moment, the hunter faltered, confusion and awe mingling in his eyes. He glanced about, taking in the richness of the forest, the quiet order maintained by the stag and the boy alike. No ambition still flickered in him. A seed of understanding took root. The stag lifted its head, antlers aglow, and let out a long, resonant sound, a note so deep and pure that it seemed to travel through the boy's chest, the hunter's ears, and the very ground beneath them. The forest itself seemed to hold its breath, and in that resonance the hunter understood, not fully perhaps, but enough to pause. Slowly he lowered his bow and backed away, retreating into the trees with a caution he had never known before. The boy exhaled softly, feeling the surge of relief, yet also the weight of responsibility. The forest had revealed another truth. Vigilance, compassion, and courage must walk hand in hand, lest balance be lost. The enchanted stag stepped closer, its warm gaze acknowledging the boy's understanding. In silent communion, the boy knew that lessons yet greater awaited him, that the threads of destiny stretched far beyond the glade, and that courage of the heart was as vital as strength of limb. As twilight settled over the forest, shadows deepened among the ferns and silvered trees. The boy sat by the pool, reflecting upon the trials of the day. He felt a quiet satisfaction, tempered with humility, for he understood that to protect the harmony of the forest was not a task of triumph, but of steady devotion. And beneath the stars, dear listener, the enchanted stag watched still, its luminous form a gentle beacon of guidance, promising that the lessons of the forest would continue until the boy had grown into the protector he was destined to become. The forest held its breath in the soft light of dawn, for the young villager had come to understand that the world of mortals and the realm of the enchanted were seldom separate. Days of gentle observation and nights spent listening to the whispers of leaves had culminated in trials that tested not only his courage but the depth of his compassion. The enchanted stag appeared once more at the edge of the glade, antlers gilded by the morning sun, eyes serene yet keenly aware. Its presence radiated quiet authority, and the boy felt a profound stillness settle within him, a harmony mirrored in the very air around him. In the weeks that followed, word of the golden stag spread throughout the surrounding villages. No, none could capture the creature's essence. Hunters and travelers who ventured too far into the forest often returned with tales of awe and humility, their ambitions tempered by the silent majesty of the stag. The boy, guided always by the stag, learned the ways of balance, how to tread lightly, how to observe deeply, and how to act with restraint and care. He discovered that true courage did not reside in conquest, nor did strength come solely from physical prowess. Rather, it was a heart disciplined in thought and softened by compassion that held the power to protect and heal. One evening, as twilight draped the forest in violet and gold, The boy and the enchanted stag stood beside the tranquil pool where their journey had begun. Ripples shimmered across the water, reflecting both the creature's golden form and the boy's own growing stature. "You have learned well," seemed to whisper the rustling of the leaves, carried on gentle wind. The forest, the streams, and all creature are safer for your understanding. The boy bowed his head in quiet acknowledgement. He felt a connection not only to the stag, but to every living thing around him. The insects, the trees, the river, and even the distant mountains beyond which sunlight first kissed the land each morning. And then, with a gentle, almost imperceptible motion, the enchanted stag raised its head, antlers catching the last light of day, and vanished silent into the depths of the forest. Though unseen, its presence lingered in every leaf and in the air itself, a reminder that guardianship was not always visible, yet always enduring. The boy returned to his village that night, carrying with him lessons that would last a lifetime. He knew that the forest had entrusted him with its secrets, and that the bond between mortal and enchanted was sacred and ongoing. Dear listener, as the moon rises and the stars settle into the quiet vigil above, remember this tale. Courage tempered with wisdom and compassion guiding strength can bring harmony even to the most mysterious of realms. Thus ends the story of the Enchanted Stag, a legend of patience, insight, and the gentle power that dwells in the hearts of those who listen and act with care